My name is Anne Akwango Elotu. I am the fourth born of in my family of 13 children, 9 with my mom, and then the other 4 with my other mother. I grew up in rural Teso. The kind of schools that I went to were really poor schools. My father was a police officer and my mom was a housewife, predominantly practicing agriculture. But towards my teen age, we went through a very dramatic change of life where my parents were diagnosed of HIV and AIDS in a season when ARVs were not common in the country, and more especially in the rural setting. When my parents were diagnosed with that, a lot changed in our family. One, because my father was the main breadwinner, he became very sickly, and as a result, we started suffering a lot in terms of lack of money, to the extent that some of my siblings had to stay back home. My father passed on. The life that my mom went through after my dad passed on. In Teso, those days was if a family lost a breadwinner, a father for instance, you had a fallback position of uncles, aunties that would come to lift your hands up or help take care of the orphans. Unfortunately for us, when my dad passed on, my uncles, my aunties wanted nothing to do with us. And indeed, they kept their word that the relationship with them had ended. So my youth life and watching my siblings grow without anybody to lean on was one of the most painful experiences. But my mom's courage is one of the things that kept us going. Because one, she had a lot of faith and she always encouraged us that God will never leave us. I saw my mom work very hard for our family and she was our strongest pillar. But moments when she would fall sick, we know everything would go down. We would be affected emotionally, but also socially as well as economically, because then the one who is supposed to be running up and down is down, is sick. My mom's courage and faith rubbed onto us. Every time she would fall sick, almost to near death point, she would bounce back because of her faith without even any ARVs. And so little did I know that that courage, that strength rubbed onto us and shaped my life in terms of being able to live through adversity and tough times. I think one of the things that challenged me most was my mom would fall sick and wouldn't have any relative come by to even visit her and check on her. We were literally left alone with our mom. And of course, you know, that time HIV/AIDS was really a stigma disease. So I know fully blown what stigma and rejection is from HIV and AIDS. So my mom's courage and faith is one of the things that I found very inspiring, because for as long as she had the health and the strength, she was always doing business, either selling fish or selling tomatoes or selling bananas to put food on our table. And I would like to think that if by that time the approach of groups was there in our region, one, I think my mom would have been able to do much more greatly in terms of supporting the family, and I believe should have lived longer because should have had a sisterhood. But also I think that if my mom had received skills in literacy, for instance, because she also dropped out of school, and also if she had received skills in business, she should have made a very good businesswoman. So That, when my mom passed on, that inspired me to see to it that if there is any woman out there who is struggling, I will do whatever it takes to empower them. And that is how the vision of Destiny Community Development Initiative was birthed. A passion to see to it that what I went through is cushioned for those who are in the same social status as me, and opportunity given to them to do better than what I missed out when my mom was single-handedly taking care of us. I am very sure that if my mom had the opportunity to be in a group, she would have done very, very well. And there is a lot that should have passed on to the children. But because she lived at a stage where there were no groups in our land, in our region, she single-handedly, amidst all the physical and health challenges she had, she single-handedly held on to helping her children, even amidst where there were no health facilities to enable her. There are so many women out there that are like my mom. Three things our parents left us. What I would like to say as an inheritance, which I think shaped our lives, the first one is education. And so it's my heart's, cry and passion to see to it that the women that I work with are able to take their children to school. Because I am what I am because of education. And so our passion is to empower the women to be able to take their children to school. The second thing that our parents left us with is faith. Belief in Christ Jesus. That one became the anchor of our lives. And one of the things we want to pass on to the women is, without Christ, you can do nothing. But with Christ, you can surmount any problem and be able to overcome and still stand out strong and be a blessing. The other gift our parents left us with is hard work. That there is nothing you can get without hard work. So a combination of those three things is what pushes me and what pushes DECODI to enlighten the women we work with. My heartfelt desire for every woman I work with is one, that they should know Christ and Christ's love. And physically, I want to see every woman I work with transformed economically, being able to make money and take care of their families and grow wealthy. That's my dream. That's my desire. And all the efforts that we are doing in DECODI is to push women towards that direction. This is my story. Out of this pain, God has birthed blessings. God has turned this pain into a blessing to so many women. And I am very convinced that amidst these families, there are girls out there, there are boys out there who could actually turn out to be even of greater blessing if given an opportunity to. So my call upon anybody listening to this is, come, let's join hands and empower these women to transform their lives and their families, and together we'll be able to raise even more champions that will become a blessing to their communities, but also to the nations at large.